Welcome to Power of TV. We are excited today to have with us in the station of WSOU a good friend and a very active member of the community. His name is Nazar Altun. He is the chairman of the board of Hovnanian School and has served as a trustee of the school since 2010. And he is an attorney at Princeton Holdings, a real estate investment company based in Manhattan. And very importantly, he is married. His wife is Doreen, and his two sons are Aren and Daron. Today we'll be talking about the school, Hovnanian School, that was founded in 1976, some 43 years ago. And we're so proud of the achievements of the Hovnanian School, providing excellent education. We keep hearing about the Hovnanian School's new accomplishments, new recognitions, praises. And what we did today is to invite Nazar to give us first-hand information about the school's successes and the latest news. We thank him for taking the time out. We thank him for the service he offers the school and the community in general. And we wish him all the best of luck in all his future undertakings. Now we go to the interview with Nazar Altun.
The good news we have to share is that Hovnanian School was able to achieve accreditation from the New Jersey Association of Independent Schools, NJAIS as it's called. This was a 2-year process during which the school conducted a very thorough self-study. It was close to a 200-page report. We had to meet 15 standards, and which we've now met. The reason it took 2 years is because again, as I said, it's very thorough. They also looked at, not only do they look at academics, your facilities, your health and safety procedures, but they also look at governance. And that was the key area that we had to make some changes in terms of bringing our governance up to best standards. We have a Haigagan style way of doing things. That has stopped, and now it is we bring governance that's world class, as you would expect from any 501c3 in this region.
Nazar, when I think of the school, I think of an incubator where the future is incubated, really. And I've said this many a times, the responsibility that the chairman of the board has in navigating the school is tremendous. You have served as a trustee of the school since 2010, I believe, and lately you're the chairman of the board. What kind of challenges are there? And I would like you to specifically talk about money and enrollment, because no matter how we turn, we'd like the numbers to increase as student numbers. I don't know what numbers is, maybe you can tell us. And also the funding, which is a major problem, I assume, within the school too.
The parents expect a lot more from Armenian school these days. It used to be that Armenian education, being involved in the Armenian community, was enough as long as the education was adequate. An adequate education is no longer on people's minds. They want excellence in education, plus they want the Armenian component, which is what, through NJIS, it's a third party telling people that yes, you are at that level of academic excellence. Our sister schools in the area, co-NJIS accredited schools, are amongst the best in the country. Lawrenceville, Dwight Englewood, etc. So I want to assure parents that the education level at the school is indeed excellent. Based on national standardized testing, we exceed national standards. In fact, 33% of our students, approximately 33% of our students, score in the 90th percentile or higher in both English and mathematics in their national standardized tests. We have graduates that go on to Bergen Academies, the Bergen Academies equivalent in Passaic County, and indeed to some of the best private schools around. A graduate this year has been accepted to Hotchkiss, Lawrenceville, Pennington, Dwight, all of the top private boarding schools in the area. In terms of finances, we do struggle. Part of this has to do with enrollment. We would love our enrollment to go up. Current enrollment is 152 students, including our childcare. And when you break down the numbers, the school spends approximately $19,000 to $20,000 per child to educate a child. Our tuition last year was $12,100. Where does the rest come from?
Where does the rest come from?
So the school operates at a deficit of approximately $750,000 a year. How are we able to maintain our excellence? Well, we raise through our events every year approximately $350,000 to $400,000. That's purely due to the community's efforts, the parents' efforts, the teachers' efforts in throwing these fundraisers and raising a bunch of money. I mean, $350,000 a year is nothing to scoff at. It's amazing. But after that is done, we still have approximately $300,000 to raise. And that comes to us through the board, through some creative thinking of the board, and sometimes it's miraculous donations that just happen to come through every year. So we as a board want to stop relying on miracles. In fact, we owe it to the school to make it sustainable for the future. And so that is what the board is working on now. We're started with a new mission statement. We're going to have a strategic plan that the board is working on right now that will guide where we go over the next 5 to 10 years and hopefully bring us to economic sustainability. And part of that is enrollment, is bringing enrollment up. So I urge parents who may have considered Armenian school but were worried because of their experience at Armenian school, or those who've never considered it, to really take a hard look at our school. Our doors are open. Call our office, come in, have a tour. I think people will be very pleased with what they see.
Since 1976, there were many people, even today, who think an Armenian school in the area cannot survive. They say Montreal, yes. California, yes, where we have immigrant population. Could you tell us about the composition, the background of the parents? We no longer have immigrants, Bolsitsi, Lipanansi, people who would come in the 70s and 80s. What is the composition? What can you tell us about the background of the families that entrust their kids to Hovnanian School?
Well, you're absolutely right. When the school was founded, it was really to serve those immigrant families that had just come to the U.S. There were language barriers. They really needed an academic institution that they could send their children to, where they could talk to the principal, talk to the administration, talk to the teachers, and be able to help their children along. That is no longer the case for the most part. Yes, we do have some recent immigrants that come to the Hovnanian School, but the vast majority of our parents are second or third generation. They are professionals, so lots of doctors, lawyers, bankers, and they value education. And what's interesting is that they're looking. We were talking to somebody recently who said, and he said this is true for a lot of ethnic schools. He said what the second generation hopes to forget, the third generation wishes to remember. And we're seeing a lot of that now, where parents who may not even be Armenian speakers are sending their children to the school so that their children can understand and learn about their heritage and their Armenian American culture. And so we're seeing that more and more. Again, our parents are professionals for the most part, second or third generation, and many of them do not speak Armenian at home. Their children, however, graduate speaking fluent Armenian, fluent French, fluent English, of course. So they leave with 3 languages. We're very proud of that. Multilingual expression is one of the core principles of our curriculum.
You know, there's a public school next door. Why should I send my child to Hovnanian, pay $12,000, $13,000 when the public schools are free? We all know these arguments, these discussions. My question to you is, you're a successful professional, you're a lawyer, you're a beautiful family, you send your kids to Hovnanian School, you're leading by example. Why do you send your kids to Hovnanian School? You may be repeating what you just said, but I would like to hear, why do you send your kids to Hovnanian School?
So I could send my children to private school, I could send them to our public school, which is excellent, but I choose Hovnanian School. And the reason for that is because I see the product that the Hovnanian School produces, and we're really creating generations of leaders who have a rich understanding of their Armenian American heritage. And that, to me, is invaluable. I cannot get that at public school. I can't get that at another private school. While we at Hovnanian School have not done a good job of keeping in touch with our alumni, what's very interesting to me is that, bar none, when you speak to alumni, you ask them who their friends are, and these are people who have gone on to high school, college, and beyond. They are still very close friends and with their Hovnanian classmates. What that says to me is that we provide our kids with a grounding in their culture, especially in a country where it's so easy to lose yourself. We provide them with a grounding and an anchor point that they continue to return to, and they consistently give back to their community. If any of your listeners were at church today, they may have noticed some young people on the Quran reading in Armenian from the Bible. The vast majority of those young people are Hovnanian graduates or current Hovnanian students. And that's what I am afraid that without a school we would lose.
Nazar, thank you very much.